welcome back to A Light in the Dark. Normally I would start in-game, not here, but I just wanted to show you this cute misspelling of the word continue. Continue. Yeah, well, let's get to it. I don't know how much time is left in the game, so yeah, that's a thing, but we'll see. And since this is weeks after my last recording session of this game, I have no idea what happened last. I moved the camera to the side so you can see the stamina bar. You'll see it. Yeah. Let's get this. Silence girl. Right. I think I saved here, so it should be fine. Let's save over. Game. Thank you. Done. Yeah, here. My last recording session was the 10th of March. Yeah. It's been a while. Alright, next. So cold. I didn't feel any better after sleeping. Instead, I felt even more tired. I was hoping to find a chance to escape when she fell asleep. However, time passed and she didn't show any sign of closing her eyes. I couldn't help but fall asleep first. The last thing I saw was her lighting another cigarette. My body must be really exhausted if I could fall asleep like that. Dazed, I opened my eyes and saw an unfamiliar face right before me. Huh? I jumped back reflexively, tried to shield my chest with my hands. My tied-up hands reminded me once more of my kidnapped status. Regardless, I was shocked by this new face. I stared at the new girl before me. First impressions were her beautiful eyes, clear and light brown like amber. The thick coat and the dark red sweater she wore looked pretty old. Her small body suggested she might be in junior high and clearly shouldn't be here. I didn't know who she was, but I easily noticed the knife in her hand. She stared straight at me, but didn't seem to want to say anything, which emitted an inexplicable pressure. Who are you? I tried to ask her, but she refused to answer and shook her head with pressed lips. She watched my every move. I couldn't find the kidnapper around. There were only the two of us in the room. In other words, a good chance to escape. I tried to struggle. Pulling the rope right and left, I noticed there were some gaps. Despite how tight it was, it might loosen up if I pulled a few times more. If only I could rub it against something sharp. Don't move. Hearing her nervous voice, I raised my head and saw her pointing the knife at me only a step away. Shut up, dog outside! A thought crossed my mind suddenly. Could I push the rope? Could I push the rope to her direction, in her direction, when she stabbed, and with that cut the rope? Whoa, that is dangerous. That is dangerous, but try it. Doesn't matter, try it. I tried to bump into her from that direction as planned while closely observing her actions. Don't get any closer! Hearing her sharp scream, I saw the blade flash before me like a silver light. Yeah, now you can see the stamina bar. Different from what I expected. I couldn't react in time. A long cut appeared on my arm. I told you so! But I tried anyway. Not no time for surprise, seeing a twisted face. I knew that was probably caused by overwhelming fear. I want to die. Time seemed to stop right there. I clearly noticed my heartbeat and the race pain. Wait. Her body shook and her hand stopped abruptly. Could the music stop too, please? She couldn't speak out of distress. Her small chest rapidly went up and down. Her hands trembled from gripping it so hard. I was only kidding. I won't struggle anymore. Put down the knife, please. I held my breath and didn't dare move one bit. I couldn't even take notice of the pain of my wound. I was afraid to trigger another knee-jerk reaction. She stepped back while staring at me, but refused to put down the knife. Her expression was more on guard than before. I was an idiot. There was no way to block a knife with a rope. The wound was deeper than I thought. The oozing blood reddened my sleeve. I could feel the stinging pain now that I calmed down. I shouldn't expect her to help me to stop the bleeding, so I had to wait for it to heal itself. That won't really happen. The cut is too deep. But okay. I brought this upon myself after all, so I have to remain calm. I did good. I had no idea why they would pick her as a partner. I could defeat someone of her size even if she held a knife, assuming she was alone. Is there anyone else here? There would be no progress if I didn't strike a conversation. I decided to speak proactively after giving it some thoughts. She stared at me tightly with no response, making one wonder if she understood. You were asked to guard me, right? Still no response. Can you untie the rope for me? My arms are getting number if it stayed like this. Alright. English isn't their strong suit, I'm sorry. She shook her head, finally speaking of being silent for a while. Pixies told me not to listen to you. Her voice was light and quiet, like a smoke in the air. I finally heard her speak, yet it was frustrating to hear something so pointless. Who is this Pixies? Who's this Pixies? Is she the one with long hair that kidnapped me? Where is she? I need to talk to her. After continuously asking a few questions, I got not one answer. Perhaps I was asking them too eagerly and that made her cautious. She looked at me suspiciously but refused to say anything. I told myself to hang in there. I have to stay calm in these situations. I took a deep breath to suppress my unease. I tried to smile to lighten up the mood. Do you have anything to eat? Don't tell me your sister doesn't allow that too. I had no strength with my empty stomach. I didn't eat anything since yesterday, and my stamina depleted faster under this cold weather. I had to save my energy for my chance. This was a war of attrition. Either she let me go, or I give up first. Answering with her actions, she put a bowl on the ground, grabbed the bottle of water with difficulty, and carefully poured water into it. That's a great meal. Here. She handed me the bowl and then brought me a pack of cookies. Worrying I might escape, she never moved her gaze away from me. The hand grasping the knife never loosened up. Observing her actions quietly, I hoped to read her thoughts, but I couldn't tell anything except stress. Are the hands tied in front or in the back? I'm really wondering. since it was a while. I can't remember if it was described in any way. If someone knows, down in the comment below, please. Thank you. Anything substrate, yes. I drank the water with much effort, spilling quite some on my clothes due to my tied-up hands. My clothes were wet again after finally getting tried too. The heart cookies tasted only of flour, nothing else. Even with water, they were hard to swallow. Whew, someone's a good cook. I knew it was not the time to be picky. I had to cherish any opportunity to replenish my strength. Well, if it only consists of flour and water and some eggs, it is quite nutritious actually. Well, not really nutritious, but it has a lot of sugar, and sugar will be turned into fat, and that is the source of your energy. So, yeah, you should eat very fat and sweet stuff if you are planning to go somewhere where you don't have that much food supplies. Gain some kilos. You can watch the episode about the Hunger Games from the Game Theorists. They explain it quite well. Noticing her conflicting gaze, I asked, "What?" "Big Sis is not a bad person. She will let you go when she gets the money. So please don't move." "I will cooperate." "I will collaborate?" Collaborate is something else. It's not cooperate. But okay, maybe you can say it as well, but I wouldn't. At least, for now. I didn't finish the full sentence, but she already looked happy and clearly dropped her guard a little. Yeah, well, she's a little girl. Organizing the information I could gather, I started to plan my next steps. 1 second. The only exits are the door and the window. If there was something warm. Maiden. Yeah, if anything, it's the girl. The young girl looked emaciated? Whatever that is. She was most likely not older than the average junior high school student. With her head hung down, she looked a little scared and doesn't want to talk. She doesn't seem to have the same level of enmity as the other girl. Maybe I can convince her. She believes her sister will let me go once she gets the money, if only things will go this smoothly. Organizing the information I could gather, I started to plan my next steps. Would the teacher notice something was wrong if I hadn't gone to cram school for 2 days? Unlikely, considering how often I skipped it, unless it lasted long enough, but even in the worst case scenario, they would only contact my parents instead of the police. I started to regret not having more friends who would notice me being missing. Accepting her to let me go upon getting the ransom, would it really be this easy? Remembering that awake smile, I didn't feel much assurance. Me neither. The injury still hurt. I lost too much blood and now my body felt even weaker. I didn't even have the energy to think. I closed my eyes with my back on the wall. Yes, I know it was a bad idea. Come on. It was close to noon when I woke up. I couldn't really rest as I was only half asleep and only felt even more tired. The prison life was surprisingly boring. You couldn't do anything with tied hands, and the only person you could talk to was as silent as a rock as she sat in a corner of the room. There was no phone, no TV, no internet. The usually insufficient 24 hours now felt way too lengthy. Tell me about it. Yet she didn't look one bit bored. Flipping through a book from God knows where, she observed my movements from time to time. I ate the same cracker for breakfast and lunch. I also went to the bathroom once, hoping to find a chance to escape. She stood outside with a knife when I was in there, neither rushing me or leaving. Finding nothing useful there, I had to leave without much more ado. Don't you eat anything more normal, or do you just love crackers? She ate the same thing as me. That sort of cheap cookie was tasteless no matter how long you chewed, only making your mouth dry. That's not true. If there's so much flour in it that it tastes only like flour, it should become sweet if you chew it long enough. It's like with bread, where you split up the connection of the what's the English word? I forgot. But it splits up into the single sugar molecules, and that's why it tastes like sugar if you chew your bread long enough. I'm sorry, I had chemistry for quite a long time, and I like it. She ate the same way up, only making your mouth dry. Unless you won a year's worth of it from a lottery, there really was no reason to keep eating this. I started the conversation out of boredom. She raised her head thoughtfully. This is very cheap and lasts long. Aren't you worried about malnutrition? There was nothing but starch, left alone fiber or vitamin. True. Pretty ironic for something with the pretty name Nutrition Biscuit. Oh. Showing no concern about balancing her diet, she didn't even raise her head, just replied nonchalantly. Hanging out with her this whole morning, she didn't give any sort of proper response except when it was about her big sis. Pretty incredible, I would say. Strangely, it was not like she cared about this big sis that much, more like she just didn't care about anything else. Did you figure something out with my dad? No idea. Her answer, without a second thought, didn't appear to be a lie. However, it did trigger my curiosity if she didn't even care about the status of the ransom. No matter who you are, you must care about something, whether it is family, work, or even a dream. Not necessarily. Well, yes, everyone cares about something, even if it is only to feel like you feel something. So you care about yourself normally if you are in that kind of mental state. That's true. Everybody lives for something. Otherwise, there is no reason to live. That sounds so dark, but think about it. You care for someone, even if it or something, even if it's just your life. And that is the reason you live. And for those of you that do not have anything like that, find something that you care for. If it is art, music, something that can get you to feel something that makes you feel happy again, or happy in any way, do it. Enjoy it and find your reason to live. Yet she did none of that. There wasn't even some sort of enmity against me, only caution at most. Try to talk. Why do you like your big sis? Hesitating a little, I decided to follow how she addressed the person in question. Because big sis took good care of me. That's it? She said no more, despite the wait, then I realized she had finished. She frowned and stared at me. You were willing to do all this just because took good care of you? That's a lot. You are just way too easy to be satisfied. You don't know what happened to her. Judging from your background, I would say hers is even worse. Having no parents? Probably. Or being, what's the word? Sorry, I'm sleeping less and less and my English is getting worse and worse. Well, mistreated, let's call it that. Being mistreated by the people that care for her, so she is rescued by her big sis, and that is why she feels indebted to her. I would guess, that is my guess, I don't know. What the hell? If you treated her nicely, she might even kill someone for you. Kidnapping is no small crime in any country. It can easily end up getting you more than 10 years of jail time. I only understood why gangs liked to recruit students of that age. Anyone nice to you must be a friend, and one could do anything for a friend. Unable to retort, a bit of confusion flew through her eyes. Big sis is nice, so I want to help her. Is that strange? She said quietly. Depends on helping with what. It was a simple question, but with implication. Maybe no one would take care of her except this big sis. Many things you take for granted aren't the core case for us at all. Remembering her words from yesterday, I realized they might have some real difficulties. Oh, duh! Why are they kidnapping you otherwise? You went to school. You're quite intelligent. Are you not? Why can't you figure that out? Oh, right, he doesn't have the social intelligence, I would say. Not really. Now I just feel sympathy, come on. Maybe they had the reason to do this. As she said, the world is not fair. If only I could convince them to let me go. Right, it was updated. Day 2, morning. Noon. Within the silence, the sudden vibration of the cell phone sounded extra sharp. Now let's see what was added. What was added? Maybe it is the discrimination due to poverty that led to such a deep enmity. That is my guess, yes. At least something like that. Maybe she does have... It is quite common that they have some rich relatives in these types of games or genre. Rich relatives that do not want to take them in because they already have kids and don't want to care for more, that already are used to poverty. Within the... yeah, right. Unlike yesterday, the girl picked up the phone immediately. Hello? Maybe being asked about me, the girl glanced at me when answering the call. Yes, it's alright. I had no idea what the conversation was and could only guess from her words. Okay. It wasn't a kidnapper from yesterday. Where would she be if she needed to call to confirm my situation? Did she already contact someone to get the ransom? Or did they have other bases or operation? He's next to me. Alright. The girl handed me the phone. I raised my tight hands and then shrugged helplessly. She hesitated a little, then put the phone next to my ear. If with this distance, maybe I could bump into her with the element of surprise. I could probably still overwhelm her even with my limbs tied. Before making up my mind, I heard a voice from the phone. Hello? The cold voice sounded a little different from the phone. The noisy background seemed to be from somewhere outside, maybe a restaurant or a karaoke place. Hey, can you hear me? Yeah. I see you are still kicking. Sorry to disappoint. She didn't seem pleased with my greeting. Maybe she was expecting me to get all panicked and shivering to the corner of a wall. The more she wanted to see me in fear, the more I wanted to act indifferently. It was not really any sort of strategy, but just some pointless showing of resistance. You should know by now, but I will repeat this again. Don't try to run. Don't ask questions. I am watching you, and if anything happens... She paused, then left a threat. Even if I agree to return you, I am not breaking a deal if you are missing an arm or a leg. Got it. Didn't even need to guess what she wanted to say. Lose an arm or a leg, throw me off a cliff, blah blah blah. Hell, even agreeing to return me alive was already saintly of her. Most wouldn't even intend to keep the hostage alive. Hostages usually get silenced after the kidnapper gets the money and are ready to run. I didn't plan to believe her words from the beginning. If I played too nice, I might get killed without knowing how. Is my dad paying? None of your business. Just worry about yourself. But bullshit. Why would I ask about that if not out of concern of my own safety? I wanted to ask more, but got stopped immediately. I am heading back now, so stay put. That's all. Hey, wait! Before I could say anything, she hung up. Hanging up right after she said whatever she wanted. What a woman. Hearing the empty sound of a disconnected call, I knew being mad would make no difference. What did Pixar say? She approached me once the call ended and asked me worriedly. Within the short period of time, I wondered what to say. Manipulator. Didn't she tell you? Her face darkened immediately. She tried to say something, but only pressed her lips. Why don't you ask her if you want to know? Aren't you familiar with her? Even with my manipulative words, she only frowned and stared right at me. Shit. She angrily sat back against the corner of the wall, holding her legs like a puppy waiting for its master to come home. Her impression of me must be worse now. I would have to wait and see if such manipulation worked. It was worth a try. So she has a motorcycle. Okay. Time felt much longer when you were waiting. I even sighed in relief when I heard the sound. The sound of a motorcycle engine turning off somewhere in the distance could be heard. The approaching footsteps echoed through the staircase, empty, but with a certain rhythm. There was no elevator. Was this an apartment or some privately owned house? I could only hear one person's steps, so there was no one coming back with her. I am back. The one who walked in was the same girl from the day before, aka the big sis. Same overcoat as yesterday, and her expression didn't change either. Welcome home. Not sure what I had in mind. She suspiciously looked at me and handed the plastic back in her hand to the other girl. Bento, eat it while it's still hot. Big sis. The young girl whispered something into her ear. I couldn't tell the context from this distance. The girl nodded, staring dead straight at me. Once the girl finished, she moved towards me with a knife. "So, what do we have here?" she asked unpleasantly as she looked at my arm wound. "Would you believe it if I said this was an accident?" "Stop with that stupid smile." Seeing that I tried to cover it up, she angrily yelled at me. "If you already knew, why ask? You really want a beating this badly?" I shrugged and said nothing. It was pointless at this point. Whatever. I knew I can't trust people like you. Eyes filled with disgust, she mumbled words drowned in hatred. I should have tried. I should have stayed put. Where did you go? She probably would only be more pissed off if this continued, so I decided to change subject to avoid trouble. "Why do I need to inform you, huh?" Not cutting me any slack, she raised her eyebrow provocatively. I sighed helplessly. This was really going nowhere if she kept up this attitude. "You start eating, don't mind me." Only after she spoke I noticed the young girl didn't move her chopsticks, despite having the bento opened, as though waiting for a big sis to start the meal together. "I had dinner already. You don't need to leave me anything." She softened the expression in her eyebrows and gently patted the young girl's head. There was even a smile on her face. The young girl nodded obediently. Even an outsider like me could tell how close they are. If anything, I wouldn't even believe she still had such an expression in her. More questions appeared in my mind, seeing their interaction. With such familiarity, what was their relationship? The sound of water flowing in the bathroom reminded me I hadn't taken a shower in 2 days. It still felt uncomfortable, even though I barely moved or sweated. I was willing to give up half of my worldly possessions for a hot shower and pay with my future income for a cup of cocoa as a bonus. The young girl was clearly starved and was quietly and happily eating the rice. She didn't even pay attention to me. Her figure looked extra weak and small from here. I still couldn't believe she could be a kidnapper. What kind of family would allow her to do such a thing? Whatever. Considering my own family, I had no right to criticize others. The girl left the bathroom holding her hair. She only washed her face since there was no hot water. The light shined on her face, rendering the pale colour a little more rosy, yet the face was still cold as ice. "What are you looking at?" She sensitively noticed my gaze and asked me with eyebrow raised. "Nothing. Was just thinking I hadn't taken a shower in a while." "You think this is some fancy hotel, rich boy?" I would have called the front desk with this level of accommodations. "You keep talking, I dare you." "Never mind." She snorted with contempt and walked to the window to lightly shake the young girl's shoulders. The young girl had finished the bento and was falling asleep next to the wall despite her best effort to stay awake. "Go to the bed. To sleep. You will catch a cold like this." She nodded sleepily and climbed into bed obediently, not caring at all about the dust on top. She grabbed the bed sheet and lay down. Maybe she was really tired. It didn't take long for her to completely fall asleep, leaving only the sound of steady breathing in the room. The girl walked to the window, opened her bento quietly, started to eat. "Nothing for me?" Tormented by the scent of food, I couldn't help myself and asked. "You can just eat the cookies. How about just a cup of coffee? I have money in the purse. Rather than a hot dinner, I preferred some hot coffee to relax my nerve. You done yet?" I'd learned protesting wouldn't help, and now the headache was even more unbearable without coffee. She looked troubled and was just absent-mindedly eating. She kept poking the chicken drumstick as if it were some sort of meaningless release of tension. Please stop playing with your food, even if you are not in the mood. I'll take it if you have no appetite. Hunger plus anger drove me to give that suggestion. I doubt doing that would solve your problem. Nevertheless, I noticed her darkened mood and decided to keep my mouth shut. Piecing all the clues together along with her reaction, I could only come up with one conclusion. You couldn't reach my dad? How did... You trying to trick me? Realizing she slipped without thinking, her face instantly darkened. I didn't mean anything, I just thought. Fearing she might lose her temper, I immediately tried to pass on the responsibility. However, she suddenly stood up. Are you looking down on me? Finding me easy to fool, huh? She bit her lips, staring at me with much hatred, voice colder than ever. Not at all, I'm just randomly guessing. There must be something wrong, and I doubt the police has found out about this so soon. Look, Her reaction far surpasses my expectation. I tried to explain myself, but that didn't stop her walking towards me. She walked closer and closer with a knife, with eyes flashing with madness. Was she really going to do this? Fear of death gripped my body. Her face was so twisted and it seemed insane. Before she got the money, she wouldn't kill me. If resistance was futile, I decided to close my eyes and grit my teeth, hoping she would not really do it. I smelled a faint scent and felt her hair on my cheek and her rapid breathing. What's with that smell? Unbelievably, at this moment of life or death, I was thinking about something this insignificant. Against the skin was a cold sensation. The blade was right before my chest. A simple push would bury deep into the flesh. I opened my eyes and saw the look of ice right before me. Don't lie to me. The voice next to my ear was light but clear. I will say it one more time. Don't lie to me. If you look down on me, you will regret it. Her voice was steady, but not the knife in her hand. She didn't clarify how she would do it, nor ask for my confirmation, yet this threat was more powerful than anything prior. All my words got stuck in my throat. My body was paralyzed to the point that I couldn't even blink. She meant it. I could read the emotion in her eyes. That was pure murderous intent. No question about it. She would do it if I did it again. I am done with folks like you. Don't think I won't do it. Worst case scenario, I will just die with you. No biggie for someone like me. She finished her sentence, then moved the knife away and walked back to the window. I just lay there on the ground, motionlessly. My tense body was still trembling. Only till then I confirmed something. They could end me any time. The notion of her not touching me before getting the money or having some backup plan meant nothing to them. At this point, she had nothing to lose. I took a deep breath while facing the window. That's how I calmed myself down since childhood. What I needed to do stayed the same. But this was no visual novel, but the cruel reality. Thanks for playing the demo. Night. The desk lamp threw a long shadow from her, but just could still creep me out a little. However, since she hadn't contacted my family, there was still a chance. I breathed in deeply, gathered the courage, and talked to her. I have a proposal. She just looked at the window motionlessly, showing no interest in my question. Let me go now, and all my money is yours. It might not be much, about 70,000 to 80,000 NTD in total, and I swear I will tell no one. Knowing she must be listening, I kept going on my own, even without a response. You can guard me all the way to the ATM if you want to, or do it in any manner you prefer. You want to keep this down, right? Is this all necessary? I put in my last bit of strength to convince her. Considering her position, I tried to propose something that would be mutually beneficial. I believed no one would risk his or her own life until there was no other choice. Now, it's still not too late. Think about it. The wait was so long I thought there was no response, but she finally turned her head. There was no rage in her eyes, only exhaustion. Why should I believe you? Why should I believe that you will hand me the money and never call the cops? I couldn't answer out of hesitation. It was hard to create a situation where both sides can trust each other at the first place. I wouldn't agree to such terms if the roles were reversed. I would be the one in control once I got my freedom. She wouldn't be able to do anything to stop me from calling the cops. No answer? Then shut the fuck up and stop wasting my time. Rather than handing her fate to me, she'd rather believed in herself. All my gathered confidence grew fainter and fainter, and I was temporarily out of ideas. But if this kept going, then what can I do to win your trust? I asked with the last of my courage. Matching her stare, I could see the fragility under that cold look. She grew silent and started to ponder my question. Then a bitter smile appeared on her face. I don't know. She turned to the window and quietly said it again. I don't know. The mood is heavy. I must try to do something. Let's chat. Hold it go. How much does she know about the kidnapping? She's the one kidnapping you. Do you really think you can get out of this unscathed? What do you want? What do you want? Are you an idiot? Money, of course. Do you think I enjoy kidnapping people? She grunted in disdain, then her mouth broke into a naughty sneer. Of course, teaching your type a lesson feels good too. Otherwise you would think the whole world only circulates around you. The whole world, and the words were still aggressive. Still had no idea why she was this mad. Everything aside, just the fact I didn't even know her in person made it bizarre why she had such a grudge. So what happens after you get the money? Kidnapping is naturally for money, but money for what? Will they ask for more, escape abroad, and most importantly, do they intend to let me go? What do you think? She raised the corner of her mouth and returned the question. The non-comical smile was creepy. It's none of your business anyway. You just pray your daddy pays up soon. That amount is nothing to you, right? I hope so too. Bringing this up covered my mind in shadow, but I couldn't do anything about it. The mood is heavy. I must try to do something. Let's observe a bit of Only soldiers or some tech manufacturers still use this kind of antique cell phone. Even old people use smartphones these days. Old phones can't connect to the internet or leave a traceable GPS signal. You can only track location through a phone call. Is that why she uses it? I didn't find anything interesting. I should check somewhere else. I'm not sure what brand it is, but the smell is not as bad as I thought about it after inhaling it for a while. It has a blue packaging. What brand is this? I should try to ask about it. It might be the clue to identifying who she is. I can't use the bento and chopsticks as a weapon, and they only make me feel even more hungry. It was getting late and I still couldn't find a way to change the situation. Instead of escaping or waiting for the ransom, the safest option was to convince her to let me go. Things could still get resolved without anything happening. It would not be this easy once the police got involved, though. But how? Even though I could tell she had hesitation, I couldn't win her trust. So I had to win her trust first. The sudden vibration broke the silence. She looked at the phone screen, then jolted a little as though getting electrocuted. She lowered her eyes and read the message. She raised the corner of her mouth, but didn't appear to be that happy. What? I had a bad feeling and instantly asked. There will be call in 10 minutes. Tell your dad to pay up if you want to go home. The unexpected change of events instantly froze my blood. This was way too soon. I was naive to think I still had time to convince her. The moment she reached my family, there was no turning back. The police would start taking action, the family preparing the ransom, and the culprit preparing the escape. What now? What now? I quickly went through all the possibilities in my mind, but couldn't come up with a solution. I must not stop thinking. There must be a way. Time passed second by second, and I had no time to hesitate. You just want money, right? Is there really no other way? Out of options, I gave my all and just yelled at her. Not giving her a chance to contemplate, I continued on after a quick break. Let me go, and you can have all the money and proof of my silence and all this. Think about it. You really think you can get the money this easily? Are you okay with playing hide and seek for the rest of your life? I couldn't finish my words. Seeing her expression, I realized that was it. Under the night light, she looked almost like a dream, too empty and transparent to be touched. That smile couldn't hide her helplessness, and those eyes were filled with regret, silence, and immense sadness. There is no turning back. Her voice was surprisingly calm. There was no anger or accusation, only concession in that expression. She surrendered to her hopeless life. Nothing was more convincing than that expression. So even she could make such an expression of hopelessness. There has been no turning back since a long time ago. The phone vibrated again. Seeing her pick up the phone, I couldn't say anything. I should have known. The moment the phone rang, from the very beginning, she had no other choice but this. Under the serene moonlight, the cogwheels started to spin faster. I've got goosebumps all over. That was the intro? We never got a chance to choose. Coming soon. Light in the dark. A visual novel for Windows. Alright. Even if the English wasn't completely perfect, it has quite the impact. I like that. I like that demo. I really did. I'm curious if my choices did make an impact or not. If you played it, or play it yourself and tell me if the choices matter. If you can get a different ending. Since I don't have the time to play it again right now. It is, after all, about 1.5 to 2 hours of playtime. Considering, depending on how fast or slow you read. So, yeah, reading out aloud is always slower than reading internally. I don't know how to call that. So yeah, if you know, tell me about it. I really want to know. And it is all what I wanted out of this game, out of this demo. So yeah, it had its it had its moments where I was like, what is happening? Especially with her change of mood, change of attitude right at the end, telling him that there is no choice for her, that she has no other choice left. Other than that, yeah, it was quite good. Alright, I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And I'll keep you posted on Twitter when this is coming out. I think the release date is quite soon, so yeah, keep it out. Eye out for it, and I'll see you next week.